Hi, I'm Adele Harty, cow-calf field specialist for SDSU Extension, based in Rapid City, South Dakota. Today I'm going to visit with you about protein and energy supplements and how to determine the best one for your cattle and your situation. As a cow-calf field specialist, I am contacted by producers with questions regarding what they should be providing their cattle in various different situations. The thing to remember is that everyone's situation is different, but we can always implement the basic concepts of feeds and nutrition in any situation. I'm often surprised by the number of ranchers who are uncertain what they should be feeding to supplement low-quality forage base. And so remember that the cheapest feed isn't always the option that will meet nutrient requirements, and in some cases it can actually have negative effects. We have many cattle feeds available, and this can vary widely depending on where you live in the country. The key is that all feeds do contain protein and energy, which is what we're going to focus on today. And we're going to talk about how to differentiate them based on the amount of each nutrient in that feed. Oftentimes, our first and biggest challenge is determining whether or not we need a protein or energy supplement to meet those animals' requirements. And after that's been determined, then we can find the best alternative for our animals, as well as your ability to feed and store and deliver those different feed options. Protein supplements are necessary to improve forage digestibility by the rumen microbes, and that's why we're so keen on getting the appropriate protein into the animals. And this is really important with our low quality diets. So this should tell you if you are feeding any low quality hays, if cows are grazing dormant winter range, they're going to need an additional protein to make sure that their rumen is working appropriately. You might be wondering why this is. As a general baseline, rumen microbes require a diet that contains 7% crude protein. The rumen microbes utilize the nitrogen in the protein. It helps them to grow, multiply, and digest the fiber components of the forage. And therefore, if our protein is deficient in the diet, the cattle are not going to perform as we expect because they cannot efficiently utilize the forage because the rumen microbes are not working as efficiently as they should be. The 7% protein baseline does not take into consideration the requirements of the cow herself. Therefore, depending on the breed, stage of production, milk production of that cow, her protein requirements are going to vary throughout the year, and that'll be a range from 7 to almost up to 12% protein. So, how do you know if a feed is a protein supplement? Well, the short answer is that a protein supplement is any feed that's going to increase the protein content of that basal diet. Some examples of protein supplements include byproduct feeds, such as distiller's grain and corn gluten feed. Other common protein sources are alfalfa hay, soybean meal, range cubes, molasses lick barrels, liquid protein supplements, and those are just a few examples. Depending on where you live, you may have many more or less options available for protein supplementation. The protein levels on the feeds that I talked about today are going to vary from a little less than 20% protein on the alfalfa hay up to 44 to 48% for the soybean meal. Energy supplements, on the other hand, are characterized by low protein content. Traditional energy supplements typically consist of cereal grains that are high in starch, and these include grains such as corn, oats, barley, milo, wheat, etc. The challenge is that the starch interferes with forage digestion in the rumen, hence the negative effect if the wrong supplement is used with low quality forages. We do have other energy supplements available that can decrease the potential for these negative associative effects due to the high fiber content that they contain. Some examples of this are soy hulls, wheat middlings, and sugar beet pulp. These high fiber supplements are a way to provide additional energy without changing the rumen environment. If you look at this chart and compare the TDN numbers, we're in the 80% TDN for most of our cereal grains, slightly lower for our higher fiber energy sources, but when you consider the positive effect that these can have in the rumen, it's well worth providing a slightly lower energy supplement in that situation. The critically important part of identifying and knowing the difference between the two types of supplements is that if an energy supplement is used when you actually need a protein supplement, the efficiency of those animals declines and there is potential for negative impacts. So, for example, if your cows are out grazing on dormant forage and they just don't seem like they're doing as well as they should be, and you observe the manure patties and they're stacking up, 3 or 4 inches tall, they seem really dry, cattle are just not gaining weight the way you want, they're deficient in protein. But if you choose to provide an energy supplement rather than that protein, it's actually going to set them back even further. So their forage digestibility is not going to be where you need it to be, and then they can't absorb the appropriate levels of nutrients through that either. Some research to support this by Del Curto and others in 1990 showed that when supplementing with milo, which is an energy supplement, versus a soybean meal, there was nearly a 9% decrease in fiber digestion with an energy supplement versus the protein supplement, and a 0.4% decrease in forage intake as a percent body weight basis. This simply means that because of the energy, the rumen microbes were not working to fully utilize the fiber that was in the diet, and therefore passage rate was slowed and animals could not physically consume enough feed to meet their requirements. When similar supplements were used in the cow herd, it had negative impacts on weight. They had greater weight loss with the energy supplemented animals than the protein supplemented animals, higher body condition score loss, and lower pregnancy rates. So the take home from this research is that providing an energy supplement negatively affected the forage digestion and subsequent performance compared to a protein supplement. Therefore, it's key that we select the right type of supplement for the animals as well as the economics of our operation. When you evaluate your feed program, make sure that you're meeting all those nutrient requirements and that the appropriate supplement is being utilized to overcome any of those shortfalls. Read your feed tag or your analysis sheet to determine whether it's a protein or energy supplement. What is the main nutrient that that feed is providing for the diet? For the example that I have shown here, this is a third cutting alfalfa hay that contains 22.8% protein on a dry matter basis. Because of the protein level in this, we wouldn't want to provide this as the only forage source for these animals, but it would be an excellent protein source for cows. In addition to making sure you have the right type of supplement, evaluate costs on a per unit nutrient basis so that you can provide the most economic option for your operation. That's a whole nother talk, but I hope that I've helped to clear up some of the confusion with protein and energy supplements. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.